Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today we're going to do the second quarter review. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this year, I stopped doing monthly resets because I found them very boring. It was very repetitive month after month, so I figured I'd just do quarterly reviews where I can update you on my debt payoff, where I stand kind of with my goals, and anything else I feel like I need to put in here. So we're going to get started by talking about the debt payoff. So at this point, it's the tail end of June, and I've paid off like $3,765.45. Is that where I wanted to be? Not exactly. I mean, the debt I owe on the one I was aiming to pay off this year was $11,326 that I still have left. So 6 months to pay that off might be a stretch, although it could happen. I notice a lot of times I tend to get such an extra push towards the end of the year that I tend to knock out more. So it's possible, it could happen. We'll see as we go along, but that's the debt payoff focus this year. And then for savings goals, as you guys know, my goal this year was to save $5,000. At this point, I have $3,000, so I'm about 60% of the way there, and it's halfway through the year, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm sure I can get that in the next couple months, and then I should be able to put more towards the debt. I was hoping to kind of knock it out as quick as possible, so I would be able to throw more at the debt, but we'll see. And then my other kind of saving goal was about my sinking funds, which I've talked about a little bit. I have, I don't even know, probably 10 or 12 different sinking funds that I try to keep funds in for certain things that could arise once a year. Maybe it's an emergency, that kind of thing. There are 3 of them that are not entirely filled right now, and my goal was to try and keep them all filled. I'm okay with the ones that aren't. One is Christmas. In Christmas, I'm over 50% of the way there, which, hey, that's perfect. Over 50% to when I'm going to actually use it. The other one is my winter gas. So I set aside a large chunk of money, usually about $500 every year for when winter comes, and I'm going to start using the gas to heat the house. I was going to do budget billing at one point, but they wanted so much money, I didn't find it worth it. Because in the summer and the off season, my bill is like barely $12. So I didn't want to have to pay like $80 all year long when I know it's only a few months out of the year. So I started doing a sinking fund. And what I do now is when the bills start increasing, if they go over $50, I will pay $50 for my budget every month. And then any additional above, I will pull from that sinking fund. So the sinking fund's almost filled. Like I said, I try to keep $500 aside for the differences that occur. And right now I only need to put another $125 in there. So that one's close. And then the last one that isn't filled is Riley's sinking fund. So Mr. Riley went to the vet actually 2 days ago. He had to get shots, his yearly checkup, blood work. And then I went ahead and got more of his flea and tick meds. That cost me like $500. And I had put a little bit extra in his sinking fund. I didn't think it was going to deplete it almost all the way. So I think there's like $60 left in there right now. So I'm not mad about it because that's what the money was there for, was when that time came. But I need to start refilling that one. So that'll be the next big focus. And I think the only other one that wasn't filled was my car insurance. So I pay my car insurance at 6 months increments, and what I actually do with that one's entirely separate from the rest of my sinking funds. My other sinking funds, I just throw what I can into it here and there throughout the year. But my car insurance, to ensure that I have the funds there when it's time to pay the bill, I actually divide out what it would be monthly, and I contribute that to that sinking fund every month. So I'm paying myself monthly for it, but then I pay it 6 months at a time to the actual company. So that one only has like one more, I think, payment that has to go into it so it's filled. So I'll be filled up ahead of time. I always keep a cushion in there in case there's an increase at a renewal or something. So that's my like savings money goals that we've been working on this year so far. And then I'm just going to briefly touch on some of my other goals. As you know, I do like a health and fitness one. I'm not going to lie, I have totally fallen off the bandwagon this year. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard to get into some consistency. I have been better in the last month where I'm working out at least 4 days a week, but I have got to figure out a way to kind of amp that up and start pushing a little bit harder and make it ongoing consistency, not like temporary glitches. You know, like last week, I have to give myself grace here and there because like last week I had migraine like all week long. It was really hard. And working out is not the best thing for a migraine. So needless to say, kind of have to give myself breaks when I need it, but I also want to get to where I'm doing more and being more consistent. So we're going to work on that. I had also set the goal that I was going to aim to do at least 4 or 5Ks this year. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I haven't ran at all this year. I haven't even jogged. I've gone for walks. That's about it. But also I've been dealing with the occasional pain in my foot. Like I think I got plantar fasciitis or something going on and knee pain. So I just don't know if it's a feasible thing for me. I will try to amp up my walking and do more, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do the 5Ks. We'll see. I might aim to do at least one, just one, to say I did one. But 4 I think might be a stretch. And then my other health goal to talk about was veggies, eating veggies more. I have really been trying to be very diligent about having vegetables at least once a day. And on the days that I don't, like on my weekends when I'm just eating whatever I can find in the cupboards, I will make sure that I have my greens by Bloom, I think it is, on those days. So I'm still getting some sort of serving of greens. So that's been not too bad. Just things to do and stuff. My goal was to read 10 books this year. And the way I do it is 5 is fiction, 5 is faith-based books. And I have 3 left to read. I have 1 fiction and 2 faith-based, which the second one of the faith-based I'm going to start this week. So not too bad. I always try to aim to have my reading and my Bible studies done before like November, let's say, because that's when the baking and all the events and holiday stuff starts kicking in, and I don't want to be trying to read a book when I already feel like I don't have a lot of time. So I aim to have them done by that point, but we're doing really good. We're almost done with that goal. Upload photos monthly onto my computer from my phone. I'm not doing that monthly, but I am consistently uploading them. It's just not every month because some months I don't have really any photos to upload. And then the only other like to-do type thing was new recipes. So I had set myself a goal this year that I wanted to try 1 new recipe, something I find on Pinterest or Instagram, something like that. 1 every 2 weeks. So I'm not doing it necessarily every 2 weeks. So I just put it in my head, okay, I need 26 new recipes this year to try. So some weeks I may do 2, and then I don't do any for a couple weeks. So it's been hit and miss, but I'm still doing it. I've done 17 new recipes out of 26 this year. I would say I'm ahead of schedule, or at least on target. And then what I've been doing is writing down in where my goals are, what recipes I'm trying. And if I like it, I'll put a smiley, or a star, I think, and then a frowny face if I don't. And I will say any of the recipes that I do like, I have an app called Copy, I think it's called Copy Me That. It's basically like a recipe storing app. So I'll just save the web link in there and it puts it in, and then I can pull it up again in the future if I want to make it. So I've been doing that. And yes, I'm learning some new recipes. I have some that I really liked, and that's great because that gives me something to put in my repertoire, which was the whole point of doing this. So we'll continue with that. In terms of faith, I like to do 4 Bible studies a year. I've done 2. I'm going to read my faith-based book and then probably do the last 2 Bible studies together because they're both on Romans. They're just 2 parts. And if you ask, most of my Bible studies all come from Daily Grace and Company. They are an awesome website. They have lots of great Bible studies that I've enjoyed. So if you need the Bible study, check out Daily Grace and Company. And they're always running sales, to be honest. The second thing was to do tithing consistently. So tithing for me is just 10% of whatever my paycheck is. I either give it to somebody or something that is in a serious need, or I just straight give it to my church. I have been very, very good about this. Like Friday mornings, as soon as I wake up and I've been paid, I send my tithes to the church immediately. So I've been doing very, very good with that. And I do want to continue with that going forward, which I will. And then the last faith-based thing was to attend church. I really set the goal that I wanted to go back to church this year consistently. I will say I've gone once. It was actually last Sunday. I'm going again this Sunday. I have a friend that goes that's been bugging me to come back. So thank you to her because she's the one that kind of motivated me to go. So I'm trying to make it my goal to be consistent for the rest of the year on going. So we'll see. But at least I watch it on TV if I don't go. So I am consistent in watching church. It's just whether I'm physically there in person. So we'll get more consistent with that. But those are basically my goals for the year. A quick overview of where I'm at. I would say I'm doing okay, but I'm not like, you know, on top of everything. There's definitely things that probably need some more focus. And being that it's June and it's the middle of the month, the next thing I get to do, which I am super excited about, we get to start a new planner because mine goes from July till June. So I'm about to run out of pages in my current one, so I'm ready to get this one set up and going. I did get the same one from Wit and Delight again. I really like the format layout. It is a different color this year. They did it in like a sage green. And I already did a video, which I think you guys have already seen, about how I use my planner specifically. But the only thing I'm going to do right this second, I just need to go in and set up my monthly layout. Only because I have bills that I can write in already for the month of July anyway. I do want to get those written in so I don't lose my train of thought of what I got. So I'm going to do that. I'll show you that and then we'll finish this up.
Maybe you shouldn't talk that way. Really matter if the bed's made, or if we wore the same shirt that day. Maybe I don't think the same. Maybe you showed up too late. I left my shoes by the doorway. I like it that way. And I don't need you, but I want you. If you hate me, you're supposed to.
All right, so I just filled out my planner as you saw, and we've gone over all my goals. I would say this is a good second quarter check-in. I don't think if there's anything else I wanted to go over. Obviously, you can see I'm still decorated for 4th of July, which I will be taking down. And this is always a good time for me to ask you guys if you have any video recommendations. So I have some ideas for the ongoing months of this year, like anything you want to see, anything I could try and do. I mean, I have a few ideas in mind that I do want to work on making sure I get filmed, but I could always use ideas of what you want to see. So, as always, I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope everybody has a blessed day.